Well, if you guessed Hawaii, then you would be correct. Okay. After visiting Hawaii this past summer and thoroughly researching it, I feel knowledgeable in sharing the history, culture, and tourism industry of Hawaii with you all. Hawaii is a very unique state with an interesting history, diverse culture, and is a popular tourism spot for millions of Americans every year. First, it's important to know that Hawaii wasn't always a part of the United States. Hawaii's history begins over 1,500 years ago when the Polynesians first arrived at the 8 islands. They sailed over 2,000 miles. Then, 500 years later, people from Tahiti arrived, which is when the native culture of Hawaii truly began. In 1778, Captain James Cook arrived, and this is when the Western influence was filtrating in. He was shortly there killed after, but all of the 8 islands were united by 1810. Disease then struck the entire population, and the native population was struck out. And in 1893, this is when the U.S. really brought all of their influence in and started to control Hawaii economically. Hawaii is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, as you can see over there, and it's actually just as close to Japan as it is to us, and it's the only state in the U.S. to be made up of all islands, which were formed by hotspots a while ago. Okay, the capital of Hawaii is Honolulu, which is located on the island of Oahu. The island of Oahu houses the main airport to the island, so anyone traveling in has to start at this island. And downtown Honolulu actually houses 70% of the state's population and is the main financial economic area of Hawaii. There's much more to Hawaii than its rich history. They have a culture unlike anywhere else in the United States. They actually have a lot of different ethnicities. There's a wide mix of Portuguese, Filipino, Chinese, and Japanese people. Food is also a very popular thing in Hawaii. As you can see, this is a a coconut stand, which are just everywhere along the roads. Hawaii is popular for its coffee, pineapples, coconuts, and shaved ice. And Hawaii is the only state to grow its own coffee, and the island of Lanai is known as the world's leading exporter of pineapples. And I'm sure you guys have heard of James Dole. This is where he started his franchise with pineapples. Luau is a traditional Hawaiian feast. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It usually starts out with a meal with a big pig, and then you see people like dancing and doing all different kinds of chants as they explain the history of Hawaii to you with dances and all sorts of things. And the weather's a popular thing that attracts tourists every year. Because of a breeze that comes over the island, typically temperatures and humidity are a lot less extreme here than they are, say, in the Caribbean or Florida. Even in the winter, the temperatures are usually mid to low 80s, so it's really a perfect place to visit year-round. Because of the amazing weather, Hawaii attracts a lot of people every single year. I think that there's almost 2 million people that travel to Hawaii a year, which is a lot. According to Frommer's Hawaii 2010 book, a popular place for people to visit is Hana Highway. This is also known as the Highway to Heaven. You start in Lahaina, and you travel this 52-mile road to the city of Hana. But this is a 52-mile road, and the trip can take anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, depending on how many times you stop. And as you can see in this picture, there are over 200 turns like that along the way, and 54 bridges that you can cross over. So as you can imagine, it's like pretty slow drive. But along the way, you're able to stop in different waterfalls and climb up and jump if you'd like to. Or this is a picture of the black sand beaches that are there. And this is kind of, when you see postcards of Hawaii and you kind of get that jungle experience, this is where it comes to life along this drive. And then once you enter Hana, you're greeted by a church, but most of the fun is just getting there. According to GoHawaii.com, which is Hawaii's official tourism site, Pearl Harbor is also a very popular place to visit. Pearl Harbor is located on the island of Oahu, and as most of you know, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, and killed 2,388 people. Over 4,500 people visit Hawaii a year, which means that they have over 1.5 million visitors a year. After you visit Pearl Harbor, then tourists have the option to go to the USS Missouri, which is the battleship where the Japanese signed their unconditional surrender on September 7th, 1941. Hawaii is obviously world renowned for its beaches, which are just all different shades of blue and have mountains in the background. As you saw, there are black sand beaches and regular sand. And then the last tourism spot that I'd like to cover, according to Hawaii.com, is Diamond Head, which is a crater. It's not active anymore, but people have the option of taking the 2-mile hike up to look out over Honolulu in the Pacific, and it got its name because British soldiers were coming over and thought that they saw diamonds in the sand, which there weren't, but that's how they got its name. And as you can tell, there are a lot of wonderful places to visit in Hawaii. These are just some of the many things that I felt were important to cover. Hawaii's history began over 1,500 years ago, and it continues to evolve today with its diverse culture and will undoubtedly increase in popularity.
All right, thank you. All right, who wants to go next?